How do we begin then to transform from the perfect you or the perfect us, the perfect we? How do we begin to transform from the perfect to the real, from
So,
the inauthentic to the authentic?
nobody is really perfect. If people think they are very delusional, and probably they're not the people who listen to that or
Right.
who need to hear that. Nothing in nature is perfect. That's how evolution worked. Art is not perfect. The moment it becomes perfect, it becomes handicrafts. That's the nature of genius, is imperfection. So we are not perfect. The moment you become perfect, you pretty much are I don't know, organic organism, but not a real human being. So asking for perfection or chasing perfection is such a futile task, and it's such a struggle, and it's not a very pleasant type of life. But then some of us have the perfectionist streak. I'm a perfectionist, forever perfectionist. But the question is not, with my perfectionism, the question is not how do I get rid of it, but how do I learn to tame it? How do I, a friend of mine, he unfortunately, he has passed away already, but his mom used to say, are you going to make it your curse or your blessing? And maybe that's a good starting point. Just look at the things and ask yourself, rather than seeing them as problems, as troubles, as something which makes you so especially different, and that's why you can't follow good advice. Just ask yourself, do you want to make it your curse or your blessing? It's your choice. It's always your choice to make it your curse or your blessing. I think it's such a wonderful thing. But how it all starts, it starts with awareness. That's the basic skill that you need for any kind of change. Yeah. You need to start being aware of what's going on in your head, what's going on in your life, in your environment. And awareness usually opens doors for a lot of things, because you start noticing things, you find the motivation to want to change them. And that's the fundamental skill for any kind of transformation.
Let's love to hear a couple of very specific, the more specific, the better. How might someone begin to learn this process of awareness? What are some hacks or some activities, some habits to build around becoming more self-aware?
So awareness is like a super skill or a habit, a superpower. And the very simple exercise to start with is to set alarms on your phone or whatever it is that you carry with you all the time, 5 to 10. The moment it rings, you remind yourself, and put it at random times, like, I don't know, 4:33 or something like this. And whenever it rings, take a moment of awareness if you can, unless you're like driving and you can't do that at that moment. But take a moment of awareness, which is really simple. You can, if you can, slow down, close your eyes, listen to the sounds, listen to your body. What do you feel? What were you thinking right now? What were you doing? Usually, if I do any trainings, whether it's online trainings or through the book, I actually give twists to this exercise over and over again, because one of the things is to practice this habit of switching on awareness. The other one, which is a little bit more elaborate, is anchoring the habit of awareness to certain situations that you need to pay attention to. So a very simple example would be, if you want to change your eating habits, you would have to anchor your practice of awareness to every time when you are around food. Because this is the triggering situation where you need to bring awareness. I don't talk about nutrition, by the way, just used it as an example. Sure. So that's a very simple practice. I would suggest you do it for about 30 days at least, just so that you have a good variety of situations to be aware about. And a very important aspect about this practice is do it with curiosity rather than judgment. And your goal is not to live perfectly. Your goal is just to notice what's going on. In fact, I will encourage you not to make any changes. Maybe your alarm goes off when you are winding yourself up and going into this destructive pattern of, whatever it is, destructive pattern. Just notice with curiosity and say, wow, that's what I'm doing right now. And that's it. Don't try to change it. You will want to change it after 30 days. And it won't even need an effort.